Welcome, traveler. Come, sit by the fire if you're weary. I can't provide you any sustenance, but if you're a knowledge seeker like me, then welcome to Mr. Trivia's quiz show, where I collect interesting stuff so you don't have to do it yourself. Today the rules are quite simple, because they usually are quite simple. 15 questions, 10 seconds per question, and stuff I think is freaking interesting. But before we continue, there's a bonus question answer from the previous quiz. So the bonus question was, why exactly did Pluto stop being an officially recognized planet in 2006? And well, here's the answer. In general, there are 3 criteria that a planet needs to fulfill in order to be classified as a full-sized planet. It needs to be in orbit around the Sun, that's one. Second, it needs to have enough mass to achieve hydrostatic equilibrium. So basically, be big enough so that it can have a bold shape, you know? Many forces come into play for that to come into effect. And the third criteria is that it has cleared the neighborhood around its orbit, meaning that it maintains gravitational dominance in its area, right? So there are no satellites of comparable size in its vicinity in space, right? And the third one is the one that sadly Pluto doesn't fulfill. It's unjust, but it is what it is. Question 1. What are natural sponges made out of? Are they made out of selected fibrous seaweeds, cotton, tree sap combined with plant fiber, or the skeleton of a sea creature? Natural sponges are obtained from elastic and absorptive skeletons of various sea creatures, such as the Spongia officinalis, which is on the picture. It sounds a bit grim, but to brighten up the mood, we can just say that Romans didn't have toilet paper. They used xylospongium, or simply sponges on a stick, which were shared in public latrines and cleaned with salt and vinegar. Yuck. Question 2. What family relation does the Greek god Hermes have with Cronus? Is Hermes a son, a grandson, a nephew, or simply not related? Zeus is the son of Cronus, and Hermes is the son of Zeus, making Hermes a grandson of Cronus. Well, on top of being the messenger of the gods, he's also a god of commerce and trade, a very complicated character, as he also serves as a psychobomb, one that guides the souls to the afterlife. Although he is often thought of as a trickster god, right? You can see that he isn't really the same as Loki from Marvel movies, right? I can't imagine that one caring about human souls too much. Third question, what does the word radar stand for? Spoiler alert, I didn't know it stood for anything. Is it A, rapid data analysis and reporting, B, radio detection and ranging, C, remote aerial detection and ranging, or D, robot assisted distance and recognition? The correct name is radio detection and ranging. The radar generally works by sending signals at set intervals, measuring the signals which have bounced back from other surfaces, and approximate the distance. The first fully functional radar was developed by the British at the beginning of World War II. It was called the Chain Home and served, supposedly, an important function in military operations. Question 4. How many Guianas are there in South America? Is there 3, 5, 1, or maybe 2 of them? There are 3 Guianas.
Guyana, formerly known as the British Guiana until 1966, Suriname, known as the Dutch Guiana until 1814, and the French Guiana, which is a current overseas territory of France. They lie in the northern part of South America, known as the Guiana Shield, because it's known for one of the highest biodiversity areas in the world. I've seen it also called the world's greenhouse. Next question. What is the lowest rated YouTuber's book on Goodreads? Is it Reaper's Creek by Onision, This Book Loves You by PewDiePie, I Hate My Selfie, a collection of essays by Shane Dawson, or KSI I Am a Bellend? The book by Onision is the lowest rating of all time. Its average rating is 1.13, with the reviewers mentioning child pornography and a lot of fantasy fulfillment being present in the book. The other ones are doing pretty well. PewDiePie's has a 3.76 rating, Shane Dawson's 4.01, KSI's 4.16. I honestly didn't expect KSI to win when I was writing this question. Question 6. What is the Arab Spring? Is it A, an annual cultural festival, a popular Middle Eastern drink, a series of pro-democracy uprisings, or a meteorological term for unusually warm weather? The Arab Spring was a series of uprising, protests and such that swept across the Arab world in the early 2010s. It was sparked by Mohamed Bouazizi, who was a street vendor in Tunisia, who was frustrated by police corruption and set himself on fire. Right? His act of desperation became a symbol of resistance and ignited widespread protests in Tunisia that ultimately led to ridding of their corrupt president Zine El Abidine Ben Ali. And Tunisia was only one of the countries that got impacted by the Arab Spring. At the end, there will be a more difficult bonus question regarding the Arab Spring, so yeah, if you want to get curious and get pinned, then wait up for the end. Question 7. What city has the most canals in the world? Is it Venice, Paris, Vienna, or maybe Cape Coral? Cape Coral is often referred to as the City of Canals. It boasts over 640 kilometers of them, making it probably the largest canal system in the world. It doesn't only define the layout, but also, it impacts quite a lot how people live there. But of course, if we consider only Europe, then Vienna is the correct choice. Question 8. Which one was discovered by James Clerk Maxwell? Was it A, the electromagnetic theory, B, the law of gravitation, C, the law of photoelectricity, or D, the laws of motion? He formulated equations that describe how electric and magnetic fields interact and change, so basically like an instruction manual for electromagnetic waves. Apart from that, he also created the method for taking the first color photograph. Question 9. What is the best-selling game in the whole world? Is it A, GTA 5, B, Tetris, C, Minecraft, or D, PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battleground? Minecraft sold over 300 million copies since its release in 2011, and thanks to that it's the best-selling game ever. GTA 5 has sold 190 million, since 2013. I mean, like, it's old. I didn't realize how old it was. And the third place goes to the phone version of Tetris from 2010, which reached 100 million downloads. I mean, it was on Android, on Windows Phone, on BlackBerry, right? It was all over the place. And it's the best-selling paid mobile game up to date. PUBG sold over 75 million copies, and it is an impressive score, so it got the 5th spot right after Wii Sports. 10th question: what is the name of coffee typically made with one espresso, whipped cream and chocolate? Espresso Romano, Vienna, Affogato, or maybe Frappe? Or Frappe? No clue. Well, it's the classical approach to Vienna coffee. Frappe, known also as Greek coffee, is iced coffee with water, sugar and milk. Affogato is simply ice cream drowned in a shot of espresso, and Espresso Romano is espresso with lemon. What? 11. Who created the story of Peter Pan? Was it A. Lewis Carroll, B. Frank Baum, C. Roald Dahl, or D. J.M. Barrie? James Matthew Barrie first put Peter Pan into a novel called The Little White Bird. He was only 7 days old in there, and later made a stage play about him. After the high success, he adapted the stage play into a novel in 1911. Some say that the character of Peter Pan was inspired by the brother of the author, who passed away during an ice skating accident. There's a lot, just take a look at the wiki, I recommend it. Question 12. This is a fun one. What is the fear of long words called? Is it A. Megawordophobia, B. Sesquipedalophobia, C. Logophobia, or D. Hippopotamostro-sesquipedaliophobia? Well, the answer is quite complex. So, the fear of long words originally functioned as sesquipedaliophobia, which explained it pretty well, but somewhere along the line, some very funny people asked it hippopotamostro. It doesn't have much sense, but they did. In general, this phobia doesn't appear in the DSM-5, which is the most up-to-date diagnostic manual of mental disorders. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, technically. It's just that there isn't any scientific discourse to go off of regarding the actual and the best name for this condition. And so, yeah, call it whatever you like, as long as people understand you. The 13th question: what is the most populated country in the world right now? Is it China? Is it USA? Maybe Indonesia? Or perhaps India? Well, China used to be the country with the most people, in case you missed the news. That changed in April 23, when India overtook it. As of this day, India has around 8 million people more than China. Question 14. What's another name for the traditional Turkish sweet called the Turkish Delight? Is it lokum, baklava, sucuk, or the sultanic confection? Traditional lokum is made from sugar, starch, water and flavorings, rosewater, lemon, orange and such. Nuts also are sometimes added for texture. It's cooked, poured into a mold, and left to set, and then dusted with more sugar. Well, it got popularized more by its appearance in the first Chronicles of Narnia, where one of the main characters asked the witch for locum. It's basically sugar mixed with sugar and added flavors. It's also sprinkled with sugar, so I love it, but my teeth do not share the sentiment. This one's a bit complex. Your father and his parents have brown eyes, your mother and her parents have blue eyes. What's the probability of you having blue eyes? More or less 0, 25, 50 or 100% probability. Let me explain some genetics. In general, every gene has two alleles, a dominant and a recessive one. They play a key part in what gene will be inherited. Well, the allele for brown eyes is always dominant and the allele for blue always recessive. So if the parents have brown eyes, the child will inherit them almost always. There are loads of exceptions to that. You could also, for example, inherit from your grandparents, right? Who knows? But yes, so that's why almost. So if you and your partner both have brown eyes, would be better to not dream about a blue-eyed baby because the chances are quite small. You crazy son of a gun, you did it again. You reached the end. So time for the proudest bonus question. So, how many countries did the Arab Spring impact positively? No need to be very meticulous about the answer, your estimate will be enough. It's quite open and complex. As always, I will pin the first right answer under the comment section, so you can find my own at the start of the next quiz. So let me know how you did. What was your favorite question or fun fact? Finally, let me know what I can improve to make this the best quiz channel you've seen. Other than that, I sincerely hope you sleep well today and wake up well rested. Good luck tomorrow, whatever you plan to do, and I will, maybe, if the stars align, see you in the next quiz show. Bye bye.